Hi guys, we're the Travel Beths and welcome back to our YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be giving you a full cost breakdown of everything that we spent on our 30 days backpacking around the south of Thailand.
So we're going to be covering what we spent on accommodation, food, travel, the activities that we did and just everything that you'll need to spend money on whilst you're here. We have linked as much stuff as possible in the description below. The exchange rates are true as of the 24th of August 2022, which is today, and we have also timestamped the video, so if there's anything in particular that you need to find, you'll be able to find it on the bottom.
Woo! Yeah, let's go!
First up we have accommodation. So for our accommodation we budgeted on average £10 per night. In some places it was as low as £7, but in others it was £13, so it balanced out at around £10 a night over the 30 days. We also opted to stay in hotels in most places as we're travelling in a pair and often use booking.com to book these a few days before arrival. An alternative is to stay in hostels, which can work out quite a lot cheaper and is a great way to meet other travellers if you're on your own. The best way to find these is on Hostel World, which is linked below in the description.
The first place that we stayed in was in Koh Phangan. We had our own little hut with a shared pool and the beachfront, which is really nice to have breakfast on. The second place was in Koh Tao. We opted for somewhere with a gym, and this had more of a hotel feel and was pretty quiet in the evenings, so we would walk down to drink at the hostels close by before heading out. The third place is a villa we rented in Koh Samui as we travelled with a friend we met here. This one was good as we had our own kitchen to make food, we had a private pool and a living room which we ended up having a movie night in as the television had Netflix. The last one is where we stayed in Phuket and again had a hotel vibe with a rooftop pool. It was right in the centre of Patong, so we could pretty much walk everywhere that we needed to go from there.
So for the 30 days, overall we budgeted £300 each for accommodation.
Next up we have transport.
So when you arrive in Bangkok, the best way to get around is in a taxi. We wouldn't recommend the tuk-tuks in Bangkok as they seem a little unsafe and we've heard quite a few people being ripped off with the prices. We recommend downloading Grab before you arrive, and another popular app across Thailand is Bolt. They are pretty much the Uber of Thailand and they give you a price prior to travel.
When travelling around Thailand, the coaches are pretty easy to book and to take. There tends to be coach stations in every main destination. To get from Bangkok down to the islands in the south, you can either fly or you can take an overnight coach. We both travelled here with well over 25 kg luggage, so flying was really expensive with the extra weight, so we opted for the overnight coach. When booking the coaches, we used the One2Go website and paid £16 for both the coach journey and the ferry transfer. On the coaches, you usually give them water and snacks, but we definitely recommend taking your own. On some of them, you also get a ticket for a free meal at one of the service stations, which is really nice local food.
Okay, so to get between the islands, you either have to take a ferry or you can pay for the speedboat option. Honestly, we just took whichever was cheapest on the days that we wanted to travel. We also used the One2Go to book these, and we always booked our coach and boat tickets 2 days before we knew we wanted to leave, as sometimes if we went to book it the day before, there wouldn't be any availability left and it'd throw off our plans.
Once you're on the islands, there's places to rent bikes pretty much every 100 metres, which costs 250 baht for 24 hours. As you can see from the clip, most people do this and bikes really do dominate the roads over there. These are great for exploring, however if you're drinking or you don't feel comfortable on a bike, then tuk-tuks are the best option and seem a lot safer on the islands than they did in Bangkok. So for travel to the islands, on the islands and between the islands, we spent around £200 each for the month.
So next up we have our food budget. We budgeted £10 a day for food whilst travelling. The way that worked best for us was to go to 7-Eleven, which has pretty much everything that you could want to eat, and there's one on almost every street corner. We would get something for breakfast, usually a yogurt, a banana and some sort of sweet bread, and that would set us up for the day. We'd also get some snacks and our lunch in 7-Eleven. There's quite a lot of variety of hot and cold food, including toasties, burgers, curry and rice, and they'd heat this up for you behind the counter. We would also opt for the sushi if we're going to the beach, and there's so many sweet desserts that are an absolute must when you're here, as they are all really yummy.
At night, we always ate local food. We would visit the night markets as they're super cheap and there's loads of options. We also really enjoyed watching them cook everything fresh in front of us. The local restaurants serve the best curries and the best Thai food, and they really outdo any Western type restaurants that we've been to in both quality and price.
Up next we have excursions and activities. So there's loads of excursions that you can do whilst you're over here. To book them, you simply go to one of the stands that are advertising them on one of the main streets. You should ask around for different prices and speak to your hotel before booking, however, to make sure that you have the best price. For example, we were offered the PP Island tour for 3,600 baht each, but met a group of travellers who paid 600 baht per person for the same tour, so it's definitely best to shop around. Snorkeling was our favourite excursion so far. For this we paid 850 baht, but every excursion differs massively depending on the activity and the location that you do it in. It's difficult to recommend a budget for excursions as it completely depends on how much you want to do and how much time you have to do it. For us personally, we budgeted £200 each for the 30 days and we're happy with how much that we got done in that time.
Next up, we have alcohol. So drinking is probably one of the biggest costs when travelling Thailand, but again it completely depends how often you want to go out and how much you want to drink. We definitely recommend pre-drinking before heading out, as drinks from 7-Eleven are relatively cheap compared to those at bars and clubs. It's around 60 baht for a large beer and between 400 and 500 baht for 70 centilitres of Thai spirits. It should be noted though that all shops stop serving alcohol between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. every day. At bars and clubs, the drinks are much more expensive. Shots and spirits are around 150 baht, large beers are around 160, and buckets that are an unknown strength but tend to get you very drunk are around 300 baht each. We budgeted to spend £30 per night out and estimated that we'd drink on half of the nights of the month. Overall, we budgeted 450 for alcohol and nights out each.
So there are other things that you also need money for whilst you're here. The first one being washing. There are lots of laundrettes that you can drop your dirty washing off at. It costs around 50 baht per kilo or 100 baht to have it washed and ironed as well. We would say, however, to be careful with any whites as sometimes they can come back stained or dirty.
In terms of SIM cards, if you're here for 30 days, you'll probably need a Thai SIM. We wouldn't recommend getting them in the airport, as we've heard of people paying over £30 for one. You can get data-only SIMs at shops all over and on many street stalls. The average cost is around 300 baht. We paid 500 baht each for unlimited data SIMs and still have data on them after 2 months.
You may also run out of toiletries whilst you're over here, in which case you'll have to buy extra. You can pretty much buy everything you need at 7-Eleven or one of the supermarkets. Most things are a similar price, however there are a couple of items that are really expensive in comparison to back home. These include tampons, which are also quite difficult to find over here, moisturiser and sun cream, so make sure to bring plenty of them.
Another thing is emergency money. Not everything goes to plan and emergencies do happen, so it's always good to have emergency funds just in case. Overall, for all the extra bits, we budgeted an extra £100 each. So in total we budgeted £1,550 each for the full month. As you can see, we opted to stay in nice hotels, we enjoyed eating and going out a lot and enjoyed all the activities that we knew we wanted to do. This is just the amount that we spent, however please be aware that it is relative to how you want your trip to be.
So thanks for watching today's video, guys. If you have any questions on anything that we've mentioned, then please just comment down below. And if you liked the video, if you thought it was helpful, then please like and subscribe.
So next week's video we're going to be covering our life in Phuket. So we've been here now for a full month. We're going to give you all the details of our day-to-day, how we find living here and how much everything costs actually living in Thailand as opposed to backpacking through.
Yeah, hopefully see you next week.
Yes, bye!